Hey, we're Saints. Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixional live stream. Glad to have you with us as we start this brand new week. I'm going to share with you some kind of junk from my own closet. Last week, my daughter, my oldest, my sweet girl, was preparing for an event she was planning at our parish. And in jest, I was teasing her about being lazy. I'm like, why are you making your mother do this, right? You're being lazy. Now, this kid is not in any way lazy at all, but I was just being feisty. She was tired. She was feeling stressed from planning this event, and she just was overwhelmed and like stormed off, right? She was mad at her father. And I didn't mean to hurt her. That was not my intent, but my words were very destructive to her, hurt the kid. And, she just, like teenage daughters do, slammed the door and she wouldn't come out. And I said, I went in to apologize and she wouldn't look at me and she's, hiding her face in the pillow and all that kind of stuff. And I said, you know what? Screw her, right? Like, she's being silly. I was just teasing and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to alienate myself from her until she comes to her senses and comes back to me and says, Baba, I'm sorry. Now, I was thinking about it. And I don't know, she's pretty strong like her father. I mean, well, I'm stubborn. She's strong. And I don't know, maybe this tete-a-tete and this estrangement, this space that I have put between us would last a long period of time. And my pride was saying, well, you have to defend that time and keep that space until she comes to her senses. My mind, however, said, holy cow, my kid is a senior in high school and going to graduate soon. Soon, she's going to leave us and no longer be under my roof every single night as she goes to college, probably in another state. I am not going to have an opportunity to be with my child. I've created a space now through this little tete-a-tete that is prohibiting me from relishing whatever little precious time I have left with her. And I thought about it and I said, you better get your butt in there and make peace. A dear friend of mine, Salim, said what I think to be a great saying about forgiveness. In fact, we talked about it yesterday at our parish on Sunday, that forgiveness, listen to his words, I love this. Forgiveness is the only currency that is capable of buying time. Forgiveness is the only currency that is capable of buying time. There's a lot in that. I'm sure there's a lot of different ways we could go, but what I think he means is that if I do not go and seek her forgiveness and keep my ego protected, all of those precious moments between now and when my child goes away to college, and who knows, she might go to grad school over there. She might meet a young man over there and get married over there and then have a family over there, wherever that over there is, and she may never come back to my home permanently. And so all of the time that I have left is before she goes. It's the only guaranteed time I have before she starts her life. And do I want to waste those moments protecting my ego? Forgiveness is the only currency that is capable to buy that time back. And so I went to her this morning and I said, forgive me. I am sorry that I said those words. And you know what? She's an angel. We made peace. We're good to go. We're talking again, right? But it's a powerful lesson for me. It was so impactful that I wanted to share it with you. And I even wanted us to think about that for perhaps even at least the beginning part of this week that we're in. In Proverbs, which I love, a beautiful book that teaches us the word mashal, right? Like an edifying story or an edifying instruction. Teaches us in chapter 17 about the power of forgiveness and, conversely, the devastation that goes when we don't. In 17 verse 9 we hear, listen to the words beautiful, beautiful. He who forgives an offense seeks love, but he who repeats a matter alienates a friend. In my case, not only alienating a friend, a child, right? Like we must be those who seek to forgive because it's in doing so, if we forgive an offense, it is that we are seeking love. We want to regain the possibility for the time that we spend. Does that make sense? It is it's a battle because the ego is by nature self-preservative. We want to take care of ourselves. We don't ever want to admit wrongs. This is unto destruction. loneliness, broken and fractured relationships. And ultimately, it will cause, maybe we'll see this later this week, it will cause the Lord himself to look at us and say, oh, you didn't forgive? Why should I forgive you? And as you know, we're all deeply, deeply in need of God's forgiveness. We should probably take that seriously. I want you guys to do me a favor, because in becoming the Lord and Master over our ego rather than the other way around, it takes a little bit of help. In order to be a forgiver, to buy back that time from the space we create through forgiveness, we've got to learn how to overcome and really take control of our ego. We're going to help you do that. There's only 3 things I need you to do right now. Number 1 is click this link or type it in your browser and visit warriorsaints.org. Number 2, subscribe to the Way of the Warrior Saint. The Way of the Warrior Saint has a ton of classes, just on all kinds of things, but about forgiveness, about controlling the ego, about putting things in proper perspective. And number 3, once you've subscribed, watch the videos. Start to learn, use the tools that God gives us through his holy scriptures on how to overcome all of that stuff so that we can put the space back together, so we can find that healing using forgiveness as the currency to buy time. Love you, beautiful people. We'll be back tomorrow, as always. Keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.